Welcome, yogis. This practice focuses on inversions. You'll need 2 blocks placed at the top of your mat, and let's begin in our first inversion, downward facing dog pose. Come onto hands and knees. Walk your hands a little bit farther out into the space in front of you. Spread through all 10 fingers. Tuck your toes under, lift your knees up, and melt your heart towards your thighs. Now this is an inversion because your heart and head are lower than your hips. Feel the integrity of your arms and your legs supporting you. Allow the head and neck to hang heavy, and maybe even melt your heart a bit more towards your thighs. Take a breath. Inhale. Open mouth, let the breath go, exhale. From here, right leg up and back to the space behind you. Open your right hip, bend your right knee, and twist to your right. Inhale, extend right leg straight up and back. And one time, please. Knee towards your nose, thigh towards your belly, heel towards your butt. Inhale, re-extend right leg straight up and back. And then from there, step forward, right foot to your right thumb. Lower the left knee down. Inhale, arms go forward, up and overhead. From here, you'll bend your elbows. Maybe keep your hands together to touch, or interlace your grip behind your head, and then support your skull in your hands. Take a breath. Inhale. As you exhale, lean back, hips heavy, heart rises up. Do it again. Inhale, pulse, back away, out of it. Exhale and descend. Hips heavy and the heart rises. One more time. Inhale, pulse, back away. Exhale and deepen in. Stay low in your pelvis. Inhale, arms straight up and overhead. And then lower hands down to the mat. Maybe hold on to those blocks. You can keep your back knee down for this one, or tuck your left toes under and straighten your left leg. Find a lunge. Inhale, pelvis drops, heart rises. Exhale, pyramid. Straighten your right leg, draw your right outer hip bone up and back, and fold. Do it again. Bend your right knee, lower your pelvis, lift the heart, lunge. Exhale, pyramid. Straighten your right leg, squeeze inner thighs, and bow. One last time. Bend your front knee, drop your pelvis, lift the heart. Exhale, pyramid pose. Pull the right outer hip bone back. Good. From there, bend your right knee. Move the blocks out of the way for a moment. Take your left hand to the sticky mat or even on the fingertips, and then simple twist to the right arm to the sky. If you feel like your stance is too narrow, you can always widen your right foot a little bit wider. Today we'll bend the right elbow, hold onto the back of the head, and then maybe lean back into a bit more of a twist. Hold for 3, 2, and then 1. Release the right arm, return the right foot into the center of your space. Maybe take your blocks with you as you pivot to the left side of your mat for wide-legged forward fold. Come onto your hands or blocks or fingertips, lengthen both sides of the body, and then exhale, forward fold again. We'll get creative today. Inhale, halfway lift, and now walk to the back of your mat. So you land in a left leg lunge. You can keep the blocks at the back of your space. Plant the hands down, step left foot to meet your right, and then you just press back, downward facing dog pose. Return to your breath. Breathe in. Let the head and neck relax. Breathe out. Okay, left leg up and back. Open your left hip, bend your left knee, and twist to the left. Inhale, extend, left leg straight up and back. Knee towards your nose, thigh towards your belly, and curl. Left leg straight up and back. And step forward, left foot to your left thumb, lower the right knee down. Pad as you need to. Low lunge. Inhale, arms forward, up and overhead. Right away, we bend the elbows. You could take your hands into prayer behind your head, maybe interlace your grip, and maybe cradle the head in your hands, but hug your elbows by your ears in order to make that happen. Find your breath again. Breathe in. Exhale, lean into it. Hips heavy and the heart rises up. Do it again. You pulse. Back away, round, curl in. Exhale and descend. Hips heavy and the heart rises. One more time, team. Inhale, pulse. Back away. Exhale and descend. Stay low in the pelvis. Inhale, arms forward, up and overhead. And then return hands outside of your front foot. Here's where you might grab the blocks again. Back knee can stay down, or you tuck your right toes under and straighten the right leg for a lunge. Press your hips forward, lunge pose. Pyramid, straighten your left leg, squeeze the inner thighs, lift the outer left sitting bone up and back. Do it again. Bend the left knee, low lunge or lunge. Exhale, pull back, Parsvottanasana. Last time, bend the left knee, inhale. Pull the hips back, exhale. Great. Bend the left knee again. You can move the blocks out of your way for a moment. Right hand down to the sticky mat or stay on your right fingertips, yogi's choice. Left arm to the sky, simple twist. Again, if you feel like your stance is too narrow, just widen it a bit. Toe heel your left foot out wide. Stay there or bend the left elbow and then hold onto your skull as you lean into the twist. For 3, 2, and 1. Re-extend the left arm towards the sky, lower the left hand down, walk the left foot into the middle of your space, maybe take hold of your blocks again, and then pivot to the right, wide leg, forward fold. Come on up, halfway lift. You can move the blocks out of the way if you know you won't need them. And then exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Option, just play with our second inversion, which is headstand. So I plant my hands down, my fingertips face the front of my mat, or the side of my mat in this case. I bend my elbows like chaturanga. I'm gonna tuck my chin towards my chest, so the crown of the head rests to the floor. You can stay here for sure. Maybe put some weight into your hands, come onto the balls of your feet, maybe onto the big toes, and then you can straddle the legs wide, and the legs can extend up and overhead. From there, of course, you can do several things. You can bend your knees, take Baddha Konasana with your legs. You can, of course, try other fancy things like half lotus or full lotus. But honestly, if you're balancing, that might be more than enough for you today, right? If you're inverted, keep your elbows hugging in. Maybe take a variation. Or when you're coming down, come down slowly, hinge at your hips, lower your feet back down to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. We did it, well done. Take a cleansing breath, exhale, forward fold. Especially if you are standing on your head, be mindful, don't move too quickly. Move slowly, come onto your fingertips, halfway lift everyone. And then make your way back to a right leg lunge at the top of your space. Blocks will still be accessible. Plant the hands, step right leg back to meet your left, and give yourself a moment in downward facing dog pose. No weight on the neck and shoulders. Maybe shake out your head. Maybe bounce a little bit up and down. That might feel good. Okay, yogis, come onto the balls of your feet and then drop down towards your knees. We're gonna do one more variation of headstand with blocks. So this one has a higher success rate in my opinion, in my experience. So the blocks will go on the higher setting. Take a look at your blocks, make sure they are shoulder distance apart. So your shoulders align with the blocks. Maybe watch me before you proceed. Take your hands about a couple inches away from the blocks. You do not want to be completely connected to the blocks. You want to have some space between your hands and your blocks. Watch me. I shift forward onto my hands. I bend my elbows like chaturanga, and the shoulders will rest on the blocks. In fact, my blocks are a little bit too narrow. My shoulders are a little bit more broad than that. So I shift forward, bend the elbows. Same setup. I tuck my chin towards my chest. My arms are basically in chaturanga. I come into basically like a headstand prep position. And then maybe I lift my knees into my armpits. Maybe I hug my knees into my chest. And then there's more weight in the hands and the shoulders as I invert into a vertical headstand. No matter what variation of headstand you take, there's less weight on your head than you imagine. Use those arms. You can even see my arms shaking to support me. I'm pushing into my hands, deeply resisting gravity, pressing into my shoulders, and feeling that upright quality of the legs up to the sky for 3, 2, and 1. To come down, you can lower your legs at the same time or retuck, knees in, lower the shins down, and then come on up. Whew, that was awesome. Well done. Okay, come on back, downward facing dog. Give yourself a moment, just let the head and neck hang heavy. I know that can be a lot. Maybe again, bounce a little bit up and down, maybe shake out your head side to side. From here, we'll come onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and then jump through to a seated position. Keep the blocks handy, we're gonna use them in a moment. A little bit of core activation before we close. Hug the knees into the chest, Navasana boat pose. Maybe arms extend alongside your body. Maybe the legs extend straight. Hold it for 3, 2, Ardha Navasana on 1. Lower the legs. Keep the legs hovering. Keep the shoulders hovering. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Ardha Navasana. Navasana, boat pose. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Half boat. Lower. Hover legs, hover shoulders. 3, 2, 1. Come back up. Knees can stay bent or legs extend. Hold it. 3, 2, 1. Come on down. Lower. Half boat. Maybe arms by your ears. Hold it. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Nicely done, yogis. I know that can be a lot. Okay, your blocks are handy for our third and final inversion. Viparita Karani in the center of the room, so legs at the wall. So I like using 2 blocks. You can follow along with my cues. Imagine you're doing bridge. The fingertips will tickle your heels, so you have the right measurement from your feet to hips. You'll lift the hips up and place one of your blocks on the first or second setting beneath your sacrum. It might feel more intuitive to lower onto the first setting, just so you have a little bit of a gauge on how high you want to make it. Then, if you want the second block, you'll do the same thing. Press into your feet, lift the hips, but the second block can stack on top of the first, and really it's the triangular bone at the base of your spine that rests on the blocks. Stay here, maybe arms by your sides. Supported bridge, or hug your knees in towards your chest. And then maybe extend your legs completely vertical. Here you are, an inversion. An inversion that is a good substitute for a shoulder stand or plow pose. This is essentially a less demanding variation, and frankly, it's much better for your neck and shoulders. You'll start to notice that your nervous system is embracing the parasympathetic, the rest and digest cue. So maybe you slow the breath down, maybe you close your eyes and you enjoy about another minute moving the blood in the opposite direction. You're about halfway now. If at any point you feel like modifying, of course, by all means, do what feels appropriate for you. If this feels completely divine, I get it. You can stay for as long as you like. Or if you are ready to release out of it, bend your knees. Gently lower the feet one at a time to the mat. Take a moment in supported bridge if you're not already there. And when you feel ready to release this, press into your heels, lift your hips, move the blocks off to the side, and then come on down. Once you're down, take your hands, palms face down on top of your femur bones, on top of your thighs, and press some weight into your hands to traction your lower back. And then come to relax. Hug your knees in towards your chest. You can rock a little bit there, side to side. Maybe circle the body in one direction. Circle your body in the other direction. Apanasana, or happy baby pose, you can hold on to your knees, maybe hold on to your shins, your ankles, the soles of your feet. Instead of worrying so much about the form here, let this be a grounding shape for you. To come back to your intention, to come back to your breath and the feeling of being in your body. Stay there for as long as you like, or when you're ready, rock and roll, forward and back, massage your spine. And you'll return back up to a comfortable seat. I hope you enjoyed flipping your perspective upside down, and I look forward to guiding you again in the next practice. Until next time, yogis, namaste.